Hi, this is a video about spaces and Conjure for some of the people in the forums on conjurebunny.com. Hopefully this will clear up some misconceptions and explain kind of how these things work under the hood, and hopefully also I can get some feedback from you regarding how you would like it to work going forward. The thing you have to understand about spaces is that it only manages windows. It doesn't manage documents, and it doesn't manage files. It doesn't manage projects. It doesn't manage anything except windows. Most apps on Mac have windows. Some apps only have one window, for example, Calculator. Some apps, like TextEdit, are made to have multiple windows. Most of the time, when an app has multiple windows, it has a document that is associated with each of those windows. Normally, all of your windows are visible all the time. When you activate Spaces, you're telling the OS that you would like it to manage which windows are visible and when. It does this by essentially creating multiple groups, which it calls, oddly enough, spaces. If you move a window into a particular space, it will remember that. And when that space is active, it will display your window. Other windows that are open at the same time will not be displayed if their space is not currently active. Now that's how windows work. But what about the desktop? And how does it work with spaces? Basically, it works like this. Windows sit on top of spaces, and the spaces sit on top of the desktop. The spaces themselves, if you peel them away, don't actually care about the desktop. When they manage windows, they manage everything that is at the user document level and above. Things that are behind them, in other words, the desktop and things like that, basically get completely ignored by spaces. So, essentially there's this stacking order, where you have the desktop, and on top of that you have document windows and such. These document windows are the only thing that Spaces actually cares about. The desktop itself is completely ignored. So where does that leave Conjure? Conjure lives at the same level as other user-level windows. It follows the document window model, and this allows you to control which space Conjure will appear in. If you clone a desktop in Conjure, you can move that cloned window onto a new space. Again, since it's the same level as other user windows, it will continue to exist in the space you place it on. But if you sync Conjure, you're telling the Mac OS that you don't want Spaces to control the visibility of Conjure anymore. As a result, any cloned Conjure desktops will suddenly fall on top of each other. So what's the answer? The simple answer is don't do that. If you leave Conjure running in normal mode, your separate windows should stay in the correct locations in Spaces. However, I suspect this is not the answer you wanted to hear. So answer B is wait for version 4.1.2. In this version, Conjure will let you specify which desktop should appear based on the currently active space. In 4.1.2, if you sync Conjure, you won't need to clone any windows, and it will detect what space you're on and switch to that desktop as needed. This means that when you have switched spaces, your files, notes, etc. that you've tied to a specific space will show up on the space that you're currently using after you switch to it. At least that's the plan. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Please log into forums.conjurebunny.com and let me know what you think. Thank you.